All right, let's do this. Today, we are cracking open one of the biggest, baddest books on the shelf, Tolstoy's War and Peace. And I'm going to promise you something. By the end of this, you're not just going to get it, you're actually going to want to read it. Seriously. Okay, let's just be honest for a second. When you see this thing on a bookshelf, it doesn't really look like a novel, right? It looks like a doorstop. I mean, it has this reputation for being ridiculously long, super complicated, and let's face it, kind of terrifying. I totally get it. We've all been there staring at it thinking, no way. But I want you to just throw all that out. Forget the reputation. Because this is not some dusty old historical text. No, this is the original prestige TV drama. It's huge, it's messy, it is packed with characters that you will love and hate and get completely obsessed with. And at its core, it's about trying to find your way when the world is just completely falling apart. Sound a little familiar? Okay, part one, Inside Russia's Gilded Cage. So let's dive right in. The story starts during so-called peacetime, back in 1805 Russia, and we are immediately thrown into this glittering, high-stakes world of St. Petersburg society. You really have to picture it like a gilded cage. It looks absolutely beautiful from the outside, but inside, it's suffocating. And the absolute center of this universe is a party, a salon, hosted by a woman named Anna Pavlovna. This is the place to be. Think of it like the most high-stakes reality TV show you've ever seen. It's a total battlefield of words. Careers are made and destroyed over a cup of tea. They're all gossiping about Napoleon. They're scheming to marry off their kids to the richest person possible and just clawing their way up that social ladder. The key thing to remember here is that everybody is performing. And Tolstoy's description of this whole scene, it is just savage. I mean, listen to this quote. A guest is described as being served up to the company like a well-garnished joint of roast beef on a hot dish. People aren't people here, they're products. They're commodities to be presented and judged based on how witty they are, who they know, what they're worth. It is all a performance, and the stakes are incredibly high. Section 2. Meet your new obsessions. So right in the middle of all this fakeness and scheming, Tolstoy gives us these three incredible, unforgettable characters to guide us. And trust me, these are the people whose lives we're going to follow, and you are about to become completely obsessed with them. First up, and I have to admit he's my personal favorite, is Pierre. Pierre is, well, he's a lovable mess. He's this big, awkward, clumsy guy, the illegitimate son of a super wealthy count. He just does not fit in. He's always saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. And more than anything, he is just desperately searching for something, anything, real in this world of fakes. So Pierre is basically a walking disaster, but in the most relatable way possible. He's this total outsider who suddenly inherits a ridiculous amount of money, which makes things even more awkward. He'll get into these passionate arguments that Napoleon is a hero in a room full of people who think Napoleon is literally the Antichrist. Oh, and he also gets kicked out of the city for tying a policeman to a bear. Yes, you heard that right. A policeman and a bear. But underneath all that chaos, he has this massive heart and this burning question. How am I supposed to live a good life? His journey is honestly the soul of the whole book. Okay, next up is Prince Andrew. And he is everything Pierre isn't. He's handsome, he's brilliant, everybody respects him, he's married to a beautiful woman. I mean, on paper, his life is perfect. And he is completely, utterly, soul-crushingly bored by all of it. Prince Andrew just feels completely trapped. He looks around at all these shallow parties, he even looks at his pregnant wife, and he just feels empty. So for him, the war that's brewing with Napoleon isn't some terrible threat. It's an escape route. It's his one big chance to find glory, to find a purpose, to finally feel something real. He literally tells Pierre, "My part is played out," because he's convinced his real life can only begin on the battlefield. And finally, to balance out all that cold, calculating St. Petersburg society, we get the Rostov family. They're based in Moscow, and they are the complete, total opposite. They are warm, they are chaotic, they're vibrant, and just bursting with life and love. They are truly the emotional heart of this entire story. The Rostov house is just a whirlwind. There's always music, young love, dancing, just this frantic, amazing energy. The family is led by a count who is so generous he's basically bankrupting them because they live for the moment, not for their budget. And it's really through the eyes of the young, incredibly passionate Natasha Rostov that we get to feel the simple, messy, beautiful joy of just being alive. They really are the peace in War and Peace. Part 3. the brutal reality of war. So right when we get comfortable in all these fancy ballrooms and country homes, Tolstoy just yanks the rug right out from under us. We are ripped out of the world of peace and thrown headfirst into the grim, terrifying, and completely unromantic reality of war. See, back in the salons of St. Petersburg, war is just gossip. It's another topic of conversation. It's all about glory and promotions and who's getting famous. Prince Andrew's wife even proudly tells a story about some lady asking, "Is that the famous Prince Andrew?" That's their version of war. It's a fantasy, seen from a very, very safe distance. But the reality on the front, it is a nightmare. The Russian army isn't even being beaten by the French yet. They're being ravaged by hunger and disease. The soldiers are so desperate, they're digging up bitter roots just to have something to eat. The commander, Kutuzov, inspects his troops, and the thing that breaks his heart is the terrible state of their boots. They're just falling apart. There is zero glory here. This is just about survival. And then comes the Battle of Austerlitz. This is it. This is the moment Prince Andrew has been dreaming of his entire life. He sees the Russian lines start to break, so he grabs a fallen flag, he rallies the soldiers, and he charges forward, leading them himself. This is his big moment, his chance to be a hero, just like his idol, Napoleon. And then, he's hit, he goes down. And as he's lying there on his back, wounded on the battlefield, everything just fades away. All of his ambitions, all those dreams of glory, even his hero, Napoleon, all of it suddenly means nothing. Because all he can see is the sky. Just this vast, endless, lofty sky above him. And this moment, this quote, is maybe the very core of the entire book. He thinks, how did I not see that lofty sky before? All is vanity, all falsehood, except that infinite sky. He realizes his whole search for some grand, heroic purpose was a complete lie. He gets it. True meaning isn't about being a big hero who shapes history. It's about realizing you're just a tiny part of something infinite and massive and beautiful, like the sky itself. All right, section 4, why this brick still matters. So after all that, why should you actually read this 1,000-page brick of a book today? Well, because underneath all the history and the hundreds of characters, Tolstoy is asking the exact same questions that we are all still asking ourselves. So, what is War and Peace really about? It's not just a history lesson about Napoleon, it's like a user's guide to being human. It digs into the biggest questions we have. How should we live our lives? What does it even mean to live a good life? And how in the world do you find meaning when it feels like everything is falling apart around you? And Tolstoy basically lays out this huge contrast for us. On one side, you have what we're all taught to think matters. Stuff like glory, status, wealth, being a part of some big historical event. But what Tolstoy shows us really matters is completely different. It's family, it's kindness, it's forgiveness. It's those tiny, small moments of connection. It's not about finding some grand purpose out there, but about finding a little bit of peace right inside the chaos. And you know what the best part is? None of them get it right. Not at first. Pierre, Andrew, Natasha, they all stumble around. They make horrible mistakes, they hurt people they love, and they get completely lost. Their search for meaning is so messy and confusing and just profoundly human. It's the same search we're all on. So really, what are you waiting for? Forget about how long it is. Forget its reputation. Just think of it as the ultimate epic, a story about love and life and trying to figure it all out while history is exploding around you. It is honestly one of the most incredible and moving experiences you can ever have with a book. So I have to ask, have you read it? Or maybe, just maybe, are you a little tempted to pick it up now? I would absolutely love to hear from you either way. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And hey, thanks for cracking this one open with me today.